Okay, let me get this off my chest right now. If I were not as stupid as I actually am, this episode would not exist. Marie, would you agree with my level of stupidity?
I don't want to say that about my husband.
Oh, you're so sweet, but it's true. It's so true. She says something, we'll get to it in a second, but I misinterpreted what my beloved and talented wife said to me, and because of a complete and total misunderstanding, which I will admit right now was possibly my fault, this entire episode then came to fruition. Is that fair enough statement to say?
Yes, and actually it's to our benefit, so I could never be angry or think you're stupid.
Aww.
Love of my life.
Once again, dumbness pays off. We'll get into it in just a second. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
And Voca Vacay starts right now.
Prepare yourself for the bestest, amazingest, and overall super duperest travel program in the history of ever. Vacation like it's your job and live vicariously through yourself. It's time now for Voca Vacay.
All I did was make a statement because I was missing the tradition that I was raised to do.
Right.
Which was enjoy a certain thing on a certain day in America.
Okay. All right. Let's set the stage, shall we?
Yes, please.
So we happen to be in Europe. We're in Eastern Europe. And we'd been, basically there's a, I just thought it was a teaching thing over in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So I'm in Bulgaria. I'm doing a thing. Marie's there, and we're hanging out and all this stuff. And Thanksgiving's approaching. And Thanksgiving, for those of you who've never checked your geography, is a very United States specific holiday.
A little bit.
No one else celebrates it. Nobody else is doing well. Canada does, but it's like a totally different thing for them. They do it in October.
It's a little America centric.
Yeah,
I have to say.
It's like you go 4th of July anywhere else. 4th of July is totally us guys. That's when we blow stuff up. Everybody else is like, what, dude? Why now? So we're doing the Thanksgiving thing, and we're in a country that is not the United States, and they just don't care, and they just don't get it.
Nor should they.
No. It's totally our thing.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, so we're saying, okay. So she happened to say something. We're in Bulgaria, and Marie says, and
I wish I had turkey for Thanksgiving.
And the floodgates open because suddenly my mind, because Bulgaria is next to Greece and Greece is next to Turkey, the country. Problem solved. I totally got this. But doom.
You're thinking, I'm going to get husband of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? Where are we going? Wait, what?
I could have saved money by just buying a 5-pound bird. Anyway, instead, we wind up. So I say, let's go to Turkey, the country. And it's over a Thanksgiving break-ish anyway.
Yeah.
So it's late November. And we say, let's go Turkey for Thanksgiving.
And we have this conversation about safety because I'm immediately like, is it safe to go to Turkey? I think we should check with the embassy. And so we went back and forth, and you basically just found the trip.
Yes.
And it was pretty cool because it was a great deal.
Yeah, it was. Here's the thing. Not a lot of people go to Turkey over Thanksgiving break. And when I say Thanksgiving, it's late November. So no one really goes there. It is the off season, which is a huge savings, by the way. And also, if you're flying into Turkey, which is basically Istanbul, because that's where we went. If you go to Istanbul, you're going to go on Turkish Airlines.
Yeah.
90% of the time. Turkish Airlines, and I did not know this. I actually did the research on this. Logistically, they go to 315 destinations around the world, which is more than anybody else.
I had no idea.
I thought it'd be Delta.
I know, because
or
we're
United.
We're so like used to what we do based on our home base, which is like, you know, Tennessee. Yeah. And like, well, and then like, and then you'll have Lufthansa who's like connected to United.
Right.
Like we knew some things, and we know a little bit about like, well, we know a lot actually about like airlines in Europe and like how to get around without going through the major American ones. But I'd never flown Turkish Air before.
Neither had I. And so it's a surprise because we are based in Tennessee, and Turkish Air, it's like how do you get there? Anyway, to get to Istanbul, you're going through Turkish Airlines, probably.
Yeah.
There's other flights that go there, absolutely, but this is the big powerhouse. And when you land in Istanbul, it's Turkish Airlines all across the place.
Oh my gosh, it's a huge hub. It's a huge connector.
It's massive.
To everywhere around the world. And it makes you appreciate the airport and the airline a little bit, because you're like, whoa, I had no idea. And it was nice. The flight was nice.
Oh, the flight was great.
I like trying new airlines though,
Yeah.
but anyway, I digress.
It's a nice flight. It was very comfortable. A couple things about going to Turkey. Number one, first, you need a visa. Passport's good. It'll get you so far because there's a visa checkpoint there too. You can get online. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think the processing time is less than like 2 days.
Yeah.
So just know in advance. So just say, I'm going to go to Turkey because they'll turn you back around. So that's number one. Number two, we arrived at night.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, like 10 o'clock at night or something like that. Something crazy.
Well, because we found a deal.
Yeah.
And often the deals will get you there either super, super early or super late at night.
Super late at night.
Not during like the prime time when everybody wants to arrive,
It's
which
not
is
business
like
hours. It's
mid-morning, late afternoon,
Yeah.
But no, I will go back to the airline for just 1 second.
Sure.
They feed you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like good food and drink too. It's not like here's your pretzels, here's whatever. No, you get a box of food.
Yeah,
it's like a whole sandwich and like chips and like a little like dessert.
And I remember thinking we got this, like, did we get like premium plus? Because I
No.
thought we just got the cheap seats.
Right. And then they also offer, as most European airlines do, they also offer alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
Not like, I don't remember if there was liquor, but I do know there was wine. There was wine. So I don't, but maybe that's just because we didn't get liquor. But anyway, soft drinks, lots of juices. They're
Yes.
big on juice.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I think there was I know there was red wine and white wine. I know
Right.
because I had a red wine. But
There
anyway.
you go. But
Yeah, so we arrived at night.
lovely experience.
We were
Arrived
full.
at night.
Good flight.
Everything was good.
Yeah.
So we go. So here's the deal. We go cruising on in there, and it's important to say that we came in at night because since we came in at night, we saw some of the city, and just driving in, everything is lit. You see the museums, the mosques, the sites. Everything is gorgeous
It is.
when it's lit up at night. It
Oh.
was spectacularly cool.
I was very shocked and surprised and amazed and just happy and just excited. And when you go somewhere for the first time, it's always that, honeymoon period where you're like, I love this place. I want to live here forever.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what exactly I had in my mind, but I just was like, I didn't know what to expect. And I guess I expected it to be a little more deserty and less city or like something, even though we were going to a major city.
Yeah, and
But yeah, you think of these vast, wide expanses with these big mountains and you see some of that when you're flying. Well, we didn't see it flying in, but it is like that outside of the city. But the city itself is so beautiful.
it's also incredibly clean.
It's very clean. It's very quaint.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's a feast for your eyes.
It's one of the cities that's made the list of us. We want to go back.
Oh yeah, we're definitely
Because
going
there
back.
are some cities we go to, it's like, pass.
Yeah, that's true.
Check it off the list. This one is like, it is definitely worth a return trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's what happened. So we get in and we checked in, and to Marie's great credit, she found the hotel.
Oh, I did.
Because I said, here's where we got to go, and here's what we want to do. And we want to do something that's sort of in walking distance of the sites that we want to see. We'll get to the sites in a second. But we wanted to get to a place where it's like, hey, you know what? This is kind of, we want to be in the thing instead of just having to take in a taxi or whatever every day, because that's loser talk for us. We want to be immersed.
So I looked at the neighborhoods, and there's some real glitzy downtown type stuff. And then there's like Old Town, and that's where most of the attractions are, that when you think of going to Istanbul, seeing the museums, seeing the mosques, you're like, oh, that is where you want to be. But it can be pricey because, of course, you're there with every other tourist trying to see this stuff. But because we went off season, we found the perfect place at a good price.
We are smart.
SMRT. And it's like the perfect price, and it was a great location.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll post about it on the website.
So we get to the place and we check in. We went up this little winding staircase at an old-timey feel. The room was beautiful. We're exhausted. We go to bed. Unbeknownst to us. And why did I not know this in advance? And again, another stupid moment that I have. It's like I made the mistake going, hey, we're in Istanbul. We're going to sleep in.
That's true. No, not happening.
We were awakened. We woke up because
Yes.
the Muslim call to prayer.
Oh my gosh. It's like you get here for the first time, you're like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, it's nice. I'm going to have a good sleep. I'm going to wake up, maybe go to breakfast. I'll go see the sights.
Not a problem.
That's not the first thing that hits you, though, is like your itinerary. Itinerary in your mind is so far from the experience of actually being there and going, that just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, here's what happened. So we go to sleep, and we're near ground central for a lot of the exciting stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're just laying there, minding my own business, not doing anything.
Waking up.
I'm asleep. I did not know this. The first Muslim call to prayer is before sunrise. Or as we say it in my land of speaking here, early. It's early. It's before sunrise.
Sure.
And you hear it.
Yeah.
And when you're in the Old Town area and the buildings, it reverberates, the sound echoes,
Yeah.
it travels, you will wake up.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, wait a minute.
What?
Usually you and I get woke up by, we have a lot of animals. And so, it's like the cats are doing something
Or something walks across your belly. It's just like, I'm going to find a comfortable spot.
the dogs are like, Dad, I got to go out.
Dad.
Like, yeah. I mean, but I've never been awakened this way before.
Yeah.
And it was melodic and beautiful and really interesting because your brain immediately goes, that's something new.
Yeah.
And then it starts to go, and what is it saying? And then because you don't speak the language.
Nope.
And then you're like, okay, I don't speak the language, but it's song-like. And then
Okay.
you're like,
That's
kind
cool.
of like listening, and then it sort of soothes you, actually.
Yeah. It's very like, okay, this
Yeah.
is okay.
Yeah.
Now we're awake. Let's start the day.
Yeah.
And we did. Go down, get breakfast, hit the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. That's
Yeah,
the
I
short
mean,
version of it. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, because once you're up, you're up. And
Yeah.
me being an idiot, I don't know when it's going to start again. It's like I think we have an hour. We might have 20 minutes. I don't know. I did no prep for this. I'm just going to charge into the country and see what happens.
Yeah.
So it worked out well. But here's the deal: the background about Istanbul, Turkey, used to be known as.
Oh,
Yeah, you know this?
Constantinople.
Constantinople.
I do, because of They Might Be Giants.
Because of the song. Yeah.
Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks.
Wow. I just knew the two long words.
I'm a nerd.
So they took one long word, and who was that? They Might Be Giants?
Yes.
Great group.
Love it.
I love their stuff. So so what happened is Constantinople, which turned out to be far too long of a word, they shortened it and changed it to Istanbul.
Right.
Okay. Now this is, I don't want to gloss over how old and this city is, but it is thousands of years old. And it's like 15 million people live there. It's
Yeah.
a city. It's not a small little burg. And it is, it's kind of a thing where in this country, if we have something that dates back to the 1800s.
Oh, right. We're like, ooh, that's old.
That's an old building. 1800s for them, that's like McDonald's. That's nothing. These guys are just like, oh yeah, you want to see something really old? Okay. 4,000 years ago. What?
Yeah.
These guys have some history.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. So we're going to talk about just a couple of the things that we went and saw, and hopefully you can learn from our experiences, and we share these with you. Of course, we'll post pictures on the website and Facebook and blah, 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 all the social media that we got.
Yeah, I mean, and there's other stuff to do. These were just the things that we did. And again, like, we want to go back.
Yes,
So-
because for everything we saw, there's a couple of things we didn't get to see.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
So we were there for what, 4 days?
4 days.
Yeah, sure.
It was quick.
Yeah.
It was, and we arrived on night. So the first, it was just, we're in and out, we're up and down. And so we get to the location, we think, okay, we want to be right where we can go see everything or the big stuff as quickly as we can. The touristy sites, we played the tourist card.
Sure.
First place, Hagia Sophia.
What a sight to see.
It is, it's impressive.
Little bit.
Let's talk about the history real quick. You want to talk about the history on this one?
I have notes on it, but I think you deliver it so much better.
Okay.
I can say that it was first built by Constantine the Great in the 4th century.
4th century. And
Man.
so that's the 300s if you're counting. So what happens in 404?
It burned down.
Burnt down.
This happens though, and it's so sad, except what is what it is today. So I'm kind of happy it is what it is because it was beautiful. So who knows what it was.
So in
but
404, it burns down. And
Yeah.
then they said Theodosius?
Theodosius. I don't know.
The second, not the first. the
Someone
second.
will correct us, I'm sure.
Oh, send us an email. We're trying.
Yeah.
He built a new one in 415.
Okay, cool. What
Yep.
happened to that?
It burned down.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. So they're 0 for 2 so far. But then the third guy, Justinian the First, and this is the name to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of a thing over there.
Yeah.
He, in the 530s,
Okay.
532 to like 538 or something like that.
Okay.
He said, we're going to have another one. We're going to get this right. So the first one burned down, second one burned down. third one,
Do we have a winner?
it stayed up.
Oh, yes.
It's the one we have today. And by the way, so doing the math on this, he built this sucker, not just him, but he had a legion of people working on this, 6 years.
What?
If you see this, you're going to think, this took at least 30, 50 years.
That is
6 years they pounded the sucker out, and it's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I literally don't believe it.
Compared to some of the other buildings that were being built in older times, Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, for those of us who see it on the football screen.
I've been.
You've been. I've never been to Notre Dame.
We'll go.
Okay.
That took a long time to build. How long was that?
80 years.
Stop.
This
took 6 years. That took 80?
Yeah.
Stop.
St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, which I've been to.
And I have not?
120 years.
Stop.
Yeah.
OMG.
They knocked this out in 6, and when you see it, you're going to say that is not possible. I
No.
read some of the background on this. Justinian the First, remember that name? He was the one who said, we're going to build this, and I'm going to split the workforce into 2 groups of 5,000 laborers each.
Ooh.
You guys start on this side, you guys start on this side, and sort of come together in the middle, or but he had them working as 2 different camps. It's sort of like Survivor,
And
where
it
the
was-
2 tribes on Fiji are just working towards a common goal.
I'm sure it was competitive.
I'm sure it was.
I wonder which one got built first.
I don't know. But these guys are highly motivated, highly skilled. It looks amazing. 6 years later, whoom, it is standing, and this is the one that is still there today.
Hump, there it is.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And I can't believe it was only 6 years.
Yeah. Oh, they knocked
Wow.
it out. They built this whole thing shorter than like Reagan was president.
Wow.
Obama was president. FDR was president. It
Right.
was, less than 2 terms. Go figure.
Right.
So they knocked this sucker out. It's still there. When you go in, it literally, I don't want to say majestic. That's the word I'm looking for.
And regal.
Yes.
And beautiful. It's just like, it fills you full of like spiritual like goodness. Like you just feel like it's just this beautiful place that makes you feel good.
Yeah. And the wow factor is just because you walk in and the first thing is, wow.
Yeah.
It's
For
like,
sure.
Am I actually standing here?
Right.
Because it is massively cool.
Because here's the thing, your eyes take in like all of the architecture, and then it's got like that sort of museum-y kind of like smell, like you're like witnessing and now like experiencing a part of history.
Yes.
And then there's like all these beautiful like words on the walls and on these big like emblems and like just like and all of this like cool stuff to look at.
One of the neatest things is that when you walk in, okay, you're sort of overwhelmed by the grandeur and the majesty and the scope of it, the
Sure.
scale of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's really cool is that then when you look at the detail work,
Yes.
because you see everything just big, and then if you take time to just zoom in on something, go, wow, how'd they do that intricate little thing, that mosaic, that carving, that sculpture, whatever. You're going to spend some time there. Don't just walk in, take a quick camera shot, and walk away, because you need to really walk around this place, and it's big.
And that's it. Like when we were talking about comparing it to Notre Dame or St. Peter's Basilica, it's exactly the same thing there too. Like these places are so historic and they're full of so much like just culture and history. You do need to look at the details.
Absolutely.
You've got to like experience it with all your senses.
Yeah. Do not expect to just run through and say, hey, I got that done 20 minutes and check it off the list. No, spend some time.
Right.
If you're going to make the effort to actually go there, give it the credit that deserves.
Okay, so if you're going, tell me about how we like tell our listeners like how we did this. Like how much does it cost? Do you stand in line? What do you do? Like, give them the deets.
Okay, the deets are this. It's okay, fine. 100 Turkish lira.
And how much
Oh,
is that?
you don't know how much that is, do you, faithful listening audience? No, you don't. It's less than $15. Modern exchange rates is, I think, $14.67 was yesterday, and these are going to fluctuate a little bit, but that's about right.
Totally worth the price of admission.
Oh, totally. You can't go see a movie with that anymore. So it's less than $15. Once you get in there, you will see, well, from the outside, you see the minarets. There's 4 minarets. They're almost 200 feet each. They're 197 feet each. The central dome is 102 feet across.
Wow.
It's massively
Yes.
cool. And here's the deal. And this is something you may not know. You can leave your shoes on, because you might be thinking, oh, it's a mosque or a holy place and I can't do that. It's technically a museum.
Right.
So you can leave your shoes on.
Right.
So you just pay the $15, walk on in, and check it out.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of fun doing this, and more importantly, if you go during sunrise or sunset time, You will see the sun coming in slanted angle
Wow.
through the windows.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So try to check that out.
Yeah. And you can get so you can get a guide, right? Like you can get like someone to give you a whole like history of it.
Yep.
I know there are a lot of history buffs out there. I know there are a lot of people who just study the architecture or like are, religious studies and like
Right.
all this stuff. You can definitely find someone to take you deep, deep, deep into those things. We did not.
No, we got the regular tour, which basically gets you in, you walk around, but you can do the audio guides where you put on the little headset things, or you can have people that will walk you around. You can hire people in advance. And it sort of depends on the experience that you want to have.
Right. So let's talk about, because we just did, we went at our own pace and we kind of just showed up and paid the price of admission and went in. Let's talk about that experience, because to me, that was very interesting. Like
What?
just having to like figure out how to get in.
Oh, well, getting in, you just get in line, right?
Well, that's what I thought. But no, we noticed quickly and right away. There's a lot of people everybody kind of just naturally falls in line. But then
Yes.
there were a lot of people that were sort of like walking around. I was like, where are they going? Because one of the things that you do when you travel is you follow people, like with your eyes, you see what other people are doing. You try and like navigate and like learn as much about the space you're in so that
Yes.
you can like figure things out and troubleshoot quickly. And so I was like, there's some people going left, there's some people going right.
Right.
There were some people coming up to people in line, locals that were like, hey, I will take you in the other way, like in the back.
There's
and
a
like
special way.
special
I am
ticket.
guide.
Is
I'll take
special
you.
ticket.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I was like, we'll talk about that later, but I was like, do we do that or whatever? And then you're the one that actually figured this out. And I was
Ta-da.
like, this is why you're a genius.
Yes, true.
You are very spatially aware. And so you totally figured this out. So he looks at me and he's like, I think people are just going into the left or the right there and coming out with tickets. And I was like, because, we don't
Yeah, let's
speak
just
the
walk-
language.
No.
Like we're not trying to translate and see where the sign says this is for non-ticket holders.
Yeah.
It's like we just fell in line like everybody else, and the line gets really backed up.
Yes.
I mean, this is a popular place. And so I said, go check it out. I'll hold our place in line. You went up, and sure enough, there's a ticket kiosk, like an ATM type thing.
And it's just hidden around the corner.
Yes.
And you just go up, and what you do is you go up, and can I just say something? The goodness of credit cards. Oh my gosh. You take a credit card
I am
and
an
go,
American. I will throw my credit card at it. No, I'm
that's
just kidding.
exactly right. Here's American Express, Visa, or MasterCard. Which one did you like? So,
But yeah.
you
In all
just-
seriousness.
you basically just swipe the cards like, and it has the little signs on. It's like, how many people you want? 2 adults or kids? Adults. Okay, here's the tickets. That's it.
You came running out and you were like, let's go.
Oh, I come out like that kid in Willy Wonka going, yeah, look at this, baby.
We would have.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't tourist season. We would have been standing in line 30 to 45 minutes.
Oh, if not an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a long line and it's not moving quick.
Right.
And
But
so-
they only let in so many people at a time.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they take that into account when they have those numbers. It's like, because they scan your ticket at the door
Yes.
when you just buy it from standing in regular line, they also know what has come out of these kiosks.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it was great.
So the thing is, yeah, you can wait. So here are your options. 1, wait in the long line. 2, have one of these helper guys, and we'll talk more about this in a couple of minutes, but have one of the helper guys help you get the ticket. Or number 3, just get the ticket, and then you go to the line that's like, you already got tickets? Come on in.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people standing in the regular long line only had cash.
Yeah.
They only had like what they had on them. They weren't using credit cards maybe or whatever.
Always take your credit card. Take 2 credit cards. Each of you should have 2 credit cards, hopefully from different banks and different flavors, meaning Visa or MasterCard or American, because some places don't take American Express. Some people are just like, Visa's preferred over MasterCard, whatever.
And we're going to talk about that process when we do our show on travel prep.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so we get in, and that's kind of like the process of getting in. And I'm so glad you figured that out.
That it was pure luck. I'm just standing there, goes, because I don't want to stand out here much longer. So we go in, we do it, we come out, and it is definitely worth the trip. And if that's the only thing we did in Istanbul, it'd be like, I'm cool with this.
How long did it take us? About 2 hours?
About 2 hours.
Yeah, to kind of like go around and see all of it. Yeah.
And really see everything.
And they have things to read that are in English.
Yes.
Once you get inside, there's like, little plaques and like little things in front of, things that you look at, and they tell you the history.
Look, the biggest problem is the other tourists. The biggest
yeah.
problem is other people who are like, I want to take a selfie or a photo or something like this. And again, the lack of spatial awareness among other people who are like, hey, I've never been inside a thing with a roof. Let's just stand here and it's like, dude, move. But yeah, but there's that. So if you're patient, if you're nice and diplomatic, yeah, you can totally wait around and get the shots. But boy, there's some people just drive me crazy on these trips.
We'll talk about that in a show as well.
Absolutely. Next up. So
Yes.
you come out and then across the way, I think there's a little road there.
There's like gardens.
Yeah.
It's like not far. It's like a quarter
Lovely.
mile.
Yeah, but you'll see it when you come out.
Yeah.
Is the Blue Mosque.
So pretty.
Now, remember, I said mosque, not museum. We'll get to that subtle difference in just a second, but it's a very important difference.
Yeah.
The Blue Mosque, in case you're thinking, well, it sounds like, I guess it's going to be the color of blue, maybe a nice aqua or navy. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not blue.
Right.
Bluish?
Sure.
Can we go with blue? It's sort of like when a woman dyes her hair red. And they don't get quite the right dye. So it's like, it's reddish.
Tinted.
Yeah, it's a tinted reddish hue, but it's not really red. And
Sure.
I'm not picking on women who want to have red hair or whatever. But it's just like, it's a bluish tint.
Yeah.
But you got to sort of squint your eyes and look a little carefully. And I
Yeah.
can see some blue there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so we just said, okay, we'll go there. And we said, sure, let's go over. Again, a long line.
Sure. And really, really long because this is also a practicing place of worship.
It's a working mosque.
It is.
And when you go there, there's two lines, basically. One, if you're praying. Two, if you're not.
So that's why the line is so long, is because now this is not, I get to go in and just, tromp around in my shoes and look at things. It's at my own, no, it's an actual, comparably, it would be like traipsing around in a church. You need to be respectful.
And you're traipsing around in a church while service is going on.
Exactly.
Because there are 5 daily Muslim calls to prayer. However, there's still people praying just in the interim periods.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like people go to churches here. I'm going to pop in.
Yeah.
I've got something going on in my life. I'm
Yep.
going to have a good pray, and then I'm going to go get lunch or whatever.
So here's the rule. It's a functional mosque.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
the line is long because you have to remove your shoes.
Shoes are off.
They go in a plastic bag.
And you carry the plastic, and they'll give you like a big Ziploc baggy type thing. It's like, okay, here's your shoes. You put these on when you leave.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to cover your head.
Yes, you do. I don't.
Right. I have to
You
cover
do.
my head.
I'm not.
And so we did a little bit of reading that morning, and we did notice it did say, if you come, you have to cover your head, and if you don't bring something, we will give you something. And I'm skeeved out by germs. So I was like, no, I'll bring a scarf. I always travel with a scarf.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I was prepared to put that over my head.
Yeah.
So that's why the line is so long. But that leads us to our next topic, which is, or a segue into, I know some people that are listening are not going to like that.
Right.
And that's okay.
Well, and here's the deal. Let's boil it down even further than that, because when we came out, we posted a picture on social media because, that's what we're going to do. And we put up a picture of you with your head covered.
Sure, yes.
And
part of the experience.
And there are those who are just said, whoa, you can't do that.
Because, I was raised in a Christian household.
Yeah, and I'm Catholic.
Yeah. And so, there was some question as to, what are you doing? That is part of being part of a religious line of whatever however you're raised.
Yeah. You do not, and I think we've talked about this before, you do not forfeit your religion simply for 20 minutes. I mean, because you take a 20-minute cultural experience, see what someone is doing outside of your religious belief.
Right. But
you don't. It's not like you come, it's like, oh, well, you're out of the club.
Right.
No, you're not.
But you will get questioned about it.
Yeah, you will.
By the more religious folk in your family
Sure.
or your more religious friends.
Sure.
And, I have beliefs and I'm spiritual. I don't practice as much as everyone, just personally for me. But that doesn't mean that it's not a part of me. And so, I had no problem with that, but we did get questioned about it.
Yeah, and expect to have the conversation, and not in a bad way, because some people are, why'd you do that? And it's like, look, I wanted to see what's going on inside as part of the culture. I'm cool with this.
Yeah. And so when you explain it that way, people are like, oh, okay. I'm like, if you go there, It is beautiful, and you see all these things, and you're learning all this stuff, but you're going to have to do the same thing if you want to see the sights.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Yeah. And again, I'm still Catholic. I didn't walk in and say, oh, Catholic. Okay, you took your shoes off. Now you're out of the group. It's like, oh, no, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Stop it.
Right.
So anyway, you go in, a couple of rules there. Again, no entry fee, but donations are, appreciated.
Yeah.
Sure. If you'll go in, again, it's beautiful. It doesn't have the scale of Hagia Sophia.
No.
But you'll walk around and go, wow.
Yeah.
This is impressive.
And you get to see people praying. It is a very spiritual place. It was a good experience.
Yeah.
Like, I did feel very good about it and just kind of like enlightened. And you see people praying, and they let some people in to go pray, and they tell you don't take pictures.
Don't take pictures of them.
Don't disturb people.
Yeah,
like,
be respectful.
Yeah, be a respectful tourist.
And as far as being respectful, also, if you have a short skirt, nope, shorts, don't wear shorts.
Not happening.
Or a sleeveless shirt, like a tank top type thing or whatever. No, they'll give you a free loner robe.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're going to be wearing this.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, sure. But you do that, you go in, it's not as large. We didn't take as much time there.
Right.
Maybe half an hour.
Right.
But you go through, it's worth walking through just to check it out.
Yeah.
And go, yeah, that totally works.
And like the other, like the Hagia Sophia, there are people who can tell you a little more about the history. And if you're whatever you're into, you can find someone to take you on a tour. Or I don't know if they had the headsets there, though. I don't think they did.
don't recall them there.
I think this is just like, you want to see a really cool looking mosque that has some history and it's actually functional and people are praying. Come see this.
And here was an unusual thing is that then we're coming out of there, and times of day being what they are, we were actually, there's a mosque there, and we're in Istanbul. There's mosques. I don't want to say all over the place, but there are. They're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
We were there when the Muslim call to prayer, because remember I told you there's one before sunrise, there's one just afternoon, late afternoon, just after sunset, and then the fifth one of the day is right before you go to bed. I think we were there late afternoon or just after sunset. It was the late afternoon one. We were in the middle of 3 mosques doing different calls to prayer simultaneously. And this is not, these are on loudspeakers.
Yes.
So it's coming from all sides. And it's like, wow, I'd never heard that before. And you noticed seagulls.
Because you're on a port.
Yeah.
That's immediately what I noticed. I was like, wow, never heard this before. And the intermingling of the birds kind of squawking and doing their natural birdness. I was like, whoa, this is literally something, 2 sounds I've never heard together ever. It's not like, peanut butter and jelly. It's like birds, call to prayer. No, you don't think of it like that. And it was very cool.
No. The phrase of the day is natural birdness. We're going to retitle the show called Natural Birdness from now on. Wow.
But, and you're on a port and you're like, oh, yeah. And then, like, I was talking about your senses. Like, you do smell the port. Like, you do smell, like, sea salt, like, sea water. Like, you smell the ocean.
Yeah. You're right there on the sea, guys.
Yeah.
And more to the point, there's also a couple thousand people around you at any given time.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're there alone. And we were there in the off season.
Right.
So it's a busy place. So, yeah there's a lot more. It's definitely an urban experience, but one you got to do.
But check it out on the website. I'll put up, I took video of that interesting call to prayer when we were in the middle of all 3. The interesting experience that was, because I was moving the phone around and you'd like hear it like all around you, and it would be different, but it's the same. It's different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
Yeah, it's just one of those things when you hear it, you just go, wow, that is something totally different. Third place we go, and again, there's lots of other places you can go. We'll talk about those briefly, but the third big place we went is Basilica Cistern.
I liked that. That was really cool.
It's underground.
Yeah, which kind of initially freaked me out, but then I was like, whoa, this is really cool.
Let's explain. There's several hundred ancient cisterns under Istanbul. They hold water. It's like a big water thing or whatever. This one was designed. Oh, check it out. I told you, Emperor Justinian, same dude. This guy.
He was a visionary.
If you're going to meet some guy in history, this guy's on the short list. It's like, really? You're not? Oh, yeah. By the way, we had this thing dug and cleared out and all this stuff. And then we built Hagia Sophia. It's a good weekend for this guy.
He's a dude. I don't know. I have to admit, I'm not a big history buff. I don't know as much as a lot of people, quite frankly. I hope this guy did good things and he wasn't some crazy like.
He's not like Nero. It's like, oh man.
Because I'm like, he was a visionary. Like, I don't know. So just take us at like, our experience only.
We're looking at his experience as to what he actually accomplished from a tourist point of view.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
So, and he gave you a couple of really cool things to look at. This sucker is, let's see, you go downstairs and let's back this up. They take you in like small groups.
Yeah.
And like 6-10 people.
Yeah.
It is fairly small. And you go down these steps and you're underground. It is a cave-ish type, cavernous type place.
Yeah.
With water on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit damp, a little bit slippery. You're not going to run through this, kids. You really aren't.
Yeah.
Pick your footing carefully. Here's the deal. This was built to hold 100,000 tons of water.
Oh.
It is 140 meters long, 70 meters wide. It is held up by 336 marble columns.
Whoa.
Each one of those is 9 meters high.
Oh my gosh.
And they're coming out of the water. It's just like, this is impressive. It also has the most incredible mood lighting ever.
It does.
It's like, oh, this is hip. I like this place a lot. There's also 2 carved Medusa heads. I think one is right side up, one's upside down.
Yeah.
If I recall that.
Yes.
And you have to go back and find them on these little sidewalks that are elevated over the water.
Yes.
It's neat.
And there's a lot of history about that. And you can go on a tour. Like, again, it's like the other stuff. You can have someone take you around and like, there are things to read. I think we took pictures of some of the plaques so that we could remember.
Our pictures are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. If you're a fledgling photographer, this is truly a location where it's unscrew-upable.
Yeah.
You can aim your camera in any direction. You get a column with the orangish mood lighting and the water underneath and the cave above or the top of the cavern. And you're going to think,
whoa,
I'm good at this. Yeah, your pictures are going to look hot. You can't screw this. You cannot screw this up.
Yeah.
It is so cool. We actually walked in the footsteps of coolness while we were there.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Because someone's a fan.
We have the box set of all the James Bond movies, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Sean Connery from Russia with Love.
Yes. For those of you who know, James Bond is super cool. And
so awesome.
Yeah, and we know a good bit about movie history.
Yeah.
And we're big movie buffs,
Sure.
and because we teach television and filmmaking for a living, and that's the day job.
That's the day job.
Yeah, and so we're like, oh my gosh, they filmed here.
Yeah.
All over the city, actually.
There's only one staircase coming down entering the cistern, and that's the one that James Bond is on. So if you want to walk literally in the exact same footsteps of Sean Connery going from Russia with Love, you can find the clip on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
You can just type in James Bond Basilica Cistern or James Bond Istanbul, and it'll show you right there. It's like a minute-long clip, and he just walks down, and he's like, oh, money penny, what's going on here? Or whatever, however
just like
James
that.
Bond.
Just like that. And also, the Hagia Sophia is in From Russia with Love.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then later on, Casino Royale is they have other Istanbul sites there.
Ah.
In the one with Daniel Craig.
You know more than I do.
One of my top 5 movies of all time, by the way. Anyway, so here's what happens. So you can go down and you can just be down there. And you're going to be in and out of this place in less than an hour, even by watching your feet.
Sure.
And walking gingerly. But it is absolutely a trip, and it's climate controlled because you're underground and it's cavernous and all this. And if it's a hot day, it's going to be great. We went in November. It's still great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to love this.
It was fun.
However, we couldn't go everywhere because Istanbul has lots of sites. So there are a couple we will briefly mention and say this is why we got to go back.
Well, there's that and then there's the last one that we kind of did go to, but we just need to go, when we do go back, go into it more.
Yes.
Yeah. So we went to the top of Topkapi Palace. Yeah.
What's Topkapi Palace? That was the headquarters of the Ottoman Empire.
Oh, man.
That was it. They met in the room and go, okay, this is where France and Germany and Czechoslovakia, that's where the dudes were.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The grounds are stunning.
We did the outer lap. We did the gardens and all that, but then you go into the palaces and into more, and they're just so we couldn't do it. We ran out of time. We ran out of energy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's information overload. So we save this for the next trip.
Right.
Something else we missed, Bosphorus Straits.
Right.
Because there's little boats. You get on them. They ferry you around. It's like, oh, over here's Europe and over here's Asia. What?
Now, that doesn't mean we didn't see it.
We saw it.
But we just didn't partake in like an activity on it or around it.
Yeah, I saw Asia from the hotel, but I didn't get over there.
Right.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
you can't do that. We did not see the whirling dervishes.
I know.
Which are the dancers. We didn't have, but that's also like a scheduling issue,
Right.
Because there's only so many dancers to go around at so many times. So we just didn't get that done.
And if you want it as a real authentic experience, you've got to get like the real group, and like there's some that like portend to be a whirling.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good crossword word.
Portend.
Check
you out.
But yeah, and so there's lots of different kind of like, but you want to see something pretty authentic and learn about the garb and learn about the dance and learn about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So definitely go check this out. We want to go back. We definitely want to go back. And just so you know, we're not omitting this on purpose, but spoiler alert, this is part 2 of our Turkey series.
Yeah.
Of a 3-part, because Istanbul, it really deserves more than one show.
Yeah.
So the next show, and the third of the trilogy, is going to be about the food, including the grand market, the bazaars, and all the stuff, the shopping there, and particularly the food and what you're going to taste and drink over there is exceptional.
This is why I'm fat.
This is why I'm happy, because guys, look, the grand market, the grand bazaar, and there's a couple others that just do spices. We're going to have a show directly dedicated to all of those things. So we're not omitting them here by accident.
Right.
We know they exist.
Right.
It's just they need their own special place.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're amazing.
Because you think the museums and all of this history and culture is an experience. Wait until you experience the food and the drink.
Yes.
And I'm going to say it. Bourbon.
Wait.
Except it's not even about like, I just say that because it's like drink,
Yes.
quote unquote drink.
Yes.
No, this is about coffee.
Yes.
Coffee.
Oh
my gosh.
And you're a big coffee drinker too.
I am.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I actually tried the coffee over there. It's like, well, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm not a coffee guy, but it's like,
Right.
It's okay. So,
But we'll talk about that later.
But
Yeah.
here's the deal. So, okay, so we know the sights you got to see. And of course, we came in at night. We saw everything was lit up. Beautiful. Weather was perfect. I don't know why people don't go in November. It's a wonderful time to go. The lines aren't that long. I mean, I know they're long, but they're longer other times of the year.
Yeah.
But we get there and it's amazing. And we think, it's another honeymoon for us. I won't say second honeymoon. It's like our 50th honeymoon by now.
Aw.
It's like, every day's a honeymoon with you. You're so sweet. So we're thinking, okay, and we're not going to argue or.
Oh, never.
Oh, no.
Never happens.
You're on vacation with one other person. You're slinging through it. You're gonna fight. Okay. So you know what? If you've ever disagreed with your travel partner, you ever just bickered on a vacay?
Never.
Let's hash this out right now. Let's go to it. It's Joey versus Monica.
It's game on. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
So yeah, like you were saying, we never fight.
No.
Every day's a honeymoon. Oh my gosh. The listeners are like, right.
Yeah.
Lies. But no, like, so you have some disagreements about like, especially when you travel.
Oh yeah.
I think we should do this. Well, I think we should do this. Should we do it this way? Should we call ahead? That's what this whole thing is based on. Mm-hmm. So on this particular trip, I was a little more skeeved out than you by the locals just coming up and offering to just take you places, because I don't know if it's because I'm female and I just have like what's it called? Like
je ne sais quoi.
No, like when you have like a wall up, because you're like, I'm more susceptible to maybe like being like conned into something, or like,
Well, let's back up just a little bit here. Marie has naturally red hair.
Yeah.
It is, by the way, it's gorgeous.
Oh.
If you see it
Thanks,
sometime,
honey.
look at our pictures on the website. It's amazing. God, she's a doll. So she has naturally red hair.
Yes.
It's your Irish heritage.
And I'm very pale.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you go to Turkey, how do I phrase it? You don't blend.
I don't blend.
You don't. Oh, you stand up. Me, I look swarthy. I can get away with it. Okay.
And like, also like, you hear these stories, like women are more like, they're more susceptible to being taken advantage of.
Yeah, they
like,
are.
And so you have to really, especially like if you're alone traveling, especially, you have to really watch it.
Yes.
And so I am really put out by people that come up near my person.
It's a personal space issue.
Yes.
It's a safety issue. It's just, I'm not comfortable with this issue.
Which is interesting because Europeans in general, they do get a little closer to you than Americans.
Oh, sure.
And so there is that personal space difference. But I also don't like being sold something that I like. I'm like, wait, you trying to take me for a ride?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no, I don't want to spend money I don't want to spend. And so my whole thing on this trip, being the Monica, I had what we were going to do in mind, and I wasn't going to overpay for anything because, well, number one, we just kind of happened to just go on this trip. We found a good deal.
Yep.
And so I was so like pleased with it and so amazed by it. I didn't want anything to like kill my vibe, like harsh my mellow. Like,
so,
I was like,
so what happens, we're standing in line and these helpers come up and they're always like, oh, where are you from? And by the way, this is not limited to a foreign land. If you do the same thing like in Las Vegas.
Sure.
If you're in line, it's like, hey, where are you from? Can we help you? It's like,
right.
Dude, stop.
Get out of my way.
We're not picking on people who are not American. We're just picking on people who are like, hey, can we help you? We'll be your buddy. Can we help you? Can we help you? And it's like, dude, stop it.
Right.
So here's what happened.
We get approached several times.
Yes.
But then when one of the times we were approached, we had gone and done a few different things. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. There was a guy who apparently, I don't think he was following us proper. He just was very aware of where we had been going because he was aware of where all the tourists were going.
Yes.
But they will come up to you and they will go, hey, for whatever lira.
Yeah.
I'll get you in the back.
Yeah.
We will take you in a secret way.
Special place just for locals.
You will skip the line.
Skip the line.
And then I will take you and show you all the cooler stuff.
Yeah.
And Monica's like, oh, hell no. That ain't happening. That's not happening because I don't know you and I'm in a foreign land.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
no.
it's like Marie / Monica wants to see a badge. She wants to see some sort of certification, some documentation,
That's right.
license, accredited. It's like a plumber. Now I'm going to hire I'll be Joey. I'm going to hire my guy, Earl, because Earl knows how to plumb. Okay. It's like, hey, you want to come plumb? Yeah, puts it together. And it's all good.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of the disconnect there because I'm not really happy with it either.
Yeah.
But you're just a different level. You're like, no.
Don't come up near my person.
and see, that bothers you. You know what bothers me whenever I travel, go anywhere? I don't haggle.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I do not haggle.
This is a haggling
ever.
place.
No. Frank, don't haggle.
Right.
I have this thing about, it's like anywhere. It's like, okay, how much is that? $5 I want. Okay, $4 for you. What? No. Just show me the price. I'll pay you the price. This is why I can't buy a car. Well, in this country, even.
Yeah.
Is this a secret?
Well, I just feel like if you're in a foreign land, if you're in a country, especially a country that's not as like economically, well off,
right.
I kind of feel like if I have 5 whatever denomination is in that country at the time,
sure,
and that's the cost of it, and that's what you're asking for, and I have that, and I'm willing to pay that for it because it's something I really want.
I'm good.
If I feel like that's a deal, I'm just going to give it to you.
Yeah.
There's no need for me to haggle, just to drive you down because you're trying to make a living.
Yeah.
I just find it to be kind of like insulting as an American that has the fortune of being able to travel and then getting somewhere and being like, well, I talked that person out of the next 3 days meals. Like, it's like, I feel bad about that.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, and this is when I'm going to save $1.
Right.
Really? I can clip coupons at home and save the money, guys.
I mean, well, look, let's be honest. When I was backpacking in my 20s, it is a different story.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do to like be able to enjoy a trip. And if you're on a budget and you do need that last couple of dollars and you're like, I am going to talk this person down a little bit. I don't know. It's like, depending on whatever situation it is. But I just personally, I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, if that's what it costs, I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah. It's sort of like and here's the deal. I mean, you can save money other ways by like find a cheaper flight, which we did. We went off season, took a later flight, find different hotel, whatever the accommodations are. Sure. But if the difference between them having a great day and a bad day is $1 from me. Right. Come on. I know. It's fine. You're going to be fine.
Well, and there's other ways to be like, oh, I've got a lot out of my money and I've got something for free. It's like, there are little things like you pay, breakfast was included. I'm taking the apple with me today. Like, it's like, it's like you get something, it all equals out and comes back in the end
and so
as balance.
I don't mind paying for a guide, but the way these guys were coming up, it's just like, and the problem being the line is you can't go anywhere. It's like Disneyland. Now you're trapped. You got to stand there if you're going to go see whatever this ride is.
Right.
And so you're just like standing there. It's like, and they are persistent.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave you alone. So the Joey character is kind of like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. I don't care.
I'm like, no.
You're like, no. But there is a way to get around this, by the way. This is
Yes.
where we agree to disagree, or disagree to agree. Actually,
We agreed to disagree. Now we're agreeing.
yes. You just watch where they go, because
Yeah.
all they're doing is like, hey, we can skip the line. What they do is they take you to a kiosk around the corner, buy you the tickets, then hand them to you, and you pay them like a gratuity of a couple of bucks or liras or whatever. And then it's like, okay, now you go into the line that says you already have the tickets.
Right.
They just show you where the ticket kiosk is.
It's true.
You know what you do? Once you see some other Americans or some poor schlubs that hire these guys, just say, hey, you know what? Just follow where they go.
Right.
They're going right there around the corner. They come back with I'll get the tickets there. That's exactly what we did.
And there's that level. Then I did notice there were a few that, so there's group tours as well, where
Yeah.
you can sign up to go on a group tour with other people that it's organized by the place.
Yes.
Like by the museum or whatever. Then there's this other level of like guys that are like, okay, look, I'm going to tell you all the same stuff as them, and I will take you around for however many lira. And so then there's that level of like getting in and like going and doing that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless it's something like when we went to Ireland, if there's something that has to do with like my history or my family history, like something that I'm really, really dying to know about, I generally don't go on the tours, and I generally don't walk off with people I don't know, like, and just go, okay, you give me special price and things, and I just feel weird about that.
Yeah, and I understand that, because just like I'm just trying to have a fun vacation. I don't want to haggle. I don't want to deal with this right now. But anyway, just be aware.
Yeah.
And some of them come from a place of good intentions. And and here's the deal: go by your gut. If you feel like this is like not for you, don't do it.
Right. And here, the reason why we're bringing it up
just say no to that.
is because this is one of a few places where it has been pretty persistent. We've gone a lot of places where it's not been.
Right.
And so we just want you guys out there listening to be aware that this is a place where that's going to happen.
Yeah. It's going to happen. And so just be ready for that. And if you just say no. Or if it's like, okay, yeah, we could do this. Sure.
Yeah.
That's on you. But be ready. It's going to happen. That being said, when we're looking at where to go in Istanbul, it's like, there's how do we make the most of our money and our scheduling and our tourist dollar and the time? Because everything's time and money when you travel.
Yeah.
How do we make this efficient? How do we make it effective?
Ooh.
You know what? It's time to upgrade your travel brain.
Upgrade
is it not?
my travel brain.
It's time now for what we call a travel nugget.
Ooh, I like a good travel nugget.
Okay, here's your nugget for the more than 13 million travelers every single year just go to Istanbul. Not Turkey, the country, Istanbul, the city, 13 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's like as many people as go to Macon, Georgia in the next 400 years. Okay, it's a busy place. So here's the deal. There a lot of travel websites have sprung up as just to satisfy the demand. Many of these, however, will promote just a specific bus line, or, hey, you want to go to the Bosphorus Straits, here's the ferry you go to, or, hey, if you want to hike these little tours, something like that. They're very hyper-specific, so watch that.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to say, hey, this is what we do, and party with us. Where are the other parties at? The best, and we've done a lot of research on this, and I don't even think they know we're giving them a shout out. But IstanbulTrails.com.
Yeah.
IstanbulTrails, one word.com. I really like this website.
Me too.
It is no high pressure sales. It's not like click on this link and we'll give you 10% off the bus line for the day. It's none of that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's a lot of solid information. It's easily arranged. I can navigate it, which means you can navigate it. That's the one to use. IstanbulTrails.com.
Because you can get sucked into like a web vortex of like, here's another 2 hours gone because I've been doing research on what to do. And this one was very well organized and it had really good information and it kind of just cut to the chase.
Yeah. And it said, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it just helps you out in a huge way. So check that one out and you can plan your trip accordingly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Okay. Well, we've talked about Turkey.
Oh.
We talked about Turkey, and Turkey, again, we're thinking Thanksgiving is how this all started. Hey, Turkey for Thanksgiving. You know what? Every episode of Voca Vacay that we do, to make it the best and most super duperest, experience for you guys, we always think we've got to scour the internet to bring you the most inconceivable travel news that there is. Inconceivable. Love that guy. The theme for this show is Turkey for Thanksgiving. So why don't we just do the exact opposite of that? Our next story is the exact opposite of Turkey for Thanksgiving. In fact, for this this rendition of For What the Holy Guacamole. You know where we're going?
Where?
Let's go to Sweden.
Oh.
What the holy guacamole are you talking about?
Oh, no. Here's the problem with Sweden.
Oh, no.
I growing up watching the Muppet Show, pork. It's the Swedish chef.
Yeah.
I was raised on the Swedish chef of the Muppet Show.
Your brain has been ruined.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
turkey for Thanksgiving. I'll get to Sweden in a second. Hang on, Buttercup. Let me lead you there. Turkey for Thanksgiving, it means what? A lot of people. Way too much food.
Oh, yeah.
Social interaction, relatives.
That's what started this whole thing. We were in a foreign land.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I wish I had turkey for Thanksgiving because they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's not like they were just like, come get some turkey.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, it was a very specific thing.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of, hey, we want to have some turkey and all that
I
stuff.
want the whole thing, like the whole feast.
Yeah,
the accoutrement.
Yeah, you want the pumpkin pie, you want the cranberry sauce, you want the turkey and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, so we've covered that. And then we had turkey for Thanksgiving in the country. All is good.
Right.
Leave it to the Swedes to make it difficult for everybody.
Tell me how.
The country of, wasn't IKEA from there?
Oh my gosh.
Simple, minimalist, boom.
I
ding,
do like
fries
some
are done.
IKEA, I have to say.
There's a Swedish restaurant going to the other extreme. It is the opposite of Thanksgiving.
Oh.
We have found it. Rasmus, and I swear, I'm trying to pronounce these names correctly. If I get it wrong, it is not from me being mean. It's from me being stupid. Okay,
Sure.
There's a difference. Rasmus Persson and Linda Carlson. This is a married couple. And he's a chef, and she's also in the restaurant business. They have opened a new restaurant outside of Ransäter Värmland in Western Sweden.
Ah, the Varmland.
Outside of Värmland.
Okay.
It is a restaurant for one person.
What? Okay, wait. This goes against everything that I believe
It is a
and
restaurant.
know about supping
One
and
person.
sharing a meal
One person.
and dining
One
and being
person.
in the experience of
One person.
food.
Was there not a Steve Martin movie called The Lonely Guy where it's like table for one, please, and the spotlight and everyone watches him
Yeah.
sit down? And it's like, lonely guy. No. Here's the deal. And some of this is an echo. I'm sure it's an echo of the coronavirus, the COVID-19 going around.
Well, that I can understand then.
And they started up here.
Okay, I give it a free pass.
Okay. Oh, not when you hear the details of this, because this is Swedish extremism gone amok.
Okay, give me the deets.
Amok, I tells you.
Okay.
It is in an open meadow outside of Ransäter Värmland, Western Sweden. You go there. You got to make a reservation. You go there, and in the middle of this meadow, there is a table and a single chair.
What?
There's no music. There's
Okay.
no other. There's one table, one chair.
But there's sounds of nature, clearly.
I can get nature outside of my. Oh, fine. The food is cooked in their house.
Okay.
Rasmus and Linda, they cook the food in their house. The house is 50 yards away.
Okay.
Then they put the food in a basket, and it's like this big clothesline zipline thing.
What?
And they send the food in a food basket to you via clothesline.
Okay.
It comes in, you unpack it,
Okay.
and then you sit there and you eat it by yourself. There is no waiter. There's no sommelier.
Oh.
There's no interaction with anyone but the woodland animals of Western Sweden.
Is this like BYOB?
No, it's BYO. I don't know.
Do you bring your own beverage? Do they give you beverages?
They give you beverages,
Okay,
sure.
all right.
But they don't give you friendship.
Oh, it's so sad. I'm supping alone.
Here's what it is.
Oh.
The menu varies daily because groceries are hard to get.
Yeah.
So the recent menu, though, had, check this out, seaweed caviar.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Forest mushrooms.
Now I'm kind of coming around to this.
I know. I'm starting to dig this idea.
Yum.
Carrot ginger puree and iced buttermilk.
Okay. So yeah, like, okay, I say, oh, it's so sad you're supping alone. Not really. I mean, people eat alone all the time. I mean, you've been out of town, out of the country, whatever.
Yeah.
I've been here. It is what it is. But I don't know. To me, like two things come to mind. Number one, it's an experience possibly because you're enjoying nature while you eat alone with your own thoughts.
Yes.
Which could be sort of like, I don't know, you could have revelations. You could just be like, all of your senses could be, again, like lit up. Like you could just be like, wow, this is a cool experience.
Right.
Or you could just be like, I'm doing this so I'm not around anybody because I don't want germs. Like it's just like, it's a little like.
So lonely.
So lonely and don't want to die.
I don't need love. as it turns out, but hang on. This is where it gets even more funky cold Medina.
Oh, okay. There's more?
You get off the bus. Literally, there's a bus station in the area. You get off the bus, you walk over hither and yon,
Okay.
both of them, go through the field, you sit down at the table, you eat, the food comes out, there's no social interaction because dining is a social experience.
Sure. Well, I would say that generalization is true. Maybe not for some people, but 99% of the population, like, well, that's what we do with food. It's a social gathering.
Yeah. And so you go there, but here's the other fun stuff. Once the guest leaves, and you don't say goodbye, you just leave because there's no one to say goodbye to.
See ya.
The table and the chair are left alone for 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Then they come out and they sanitize them for the next person.
Oh.
The price is voluntary.
Wait, what?
You pay what you want because the menu changes all the time. That nothing's written down. You just put money in the basket, leave it on the table, whatever. That's it.
Oh.
Anything you want to pay is what you pay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And the whole 6 hours and sanitizing. This definitely is a COVID thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would be interested in experiencing something like this again, to just be like, oh, I'm in a meadow. Maybe a deer will come up. Like, I don't know, like weird, like cool, like
I would do this even without the COVID thing.
things tied to my senses. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like for
just
that
like-
experience.
Interesting.
But it sounds to me like they're just like, no interaction, don't get COVID.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we're gonna, like, you know, do that.
I can only tell you what they're telling me because.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. It is, the website for this is Boardforeign, BORDFOREN, boardforeign.com. It's the website. It is open for reservations, only one reservation per day.
Okay.
So this restaurant idea, it's only one per day through August 1st.
Wow.
The calendar is already blacked out. There are no seats available. There are no days available. It is gone. It is done. And then August 1st, because, you know, in Sweden, the sun stays up forever in the summertime.
That's crazy.
And then once the fall hits, I don't know, they might continue in the future. They haven't decided yet, but it's just a cool enough idea. Look, at some point, COVID-19 is going to go away. Coronavirus is going to go away. People are going to wash their hands more, herd immunity, vaccine, whatever. It's not, I don't see it being here forever.
Yeah.
But even, let's take it 5, 10, 20 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
I might be interested in doing this just for the experience.
Yeah, sure.
You know, germs aside, it's like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, board for in, by the way, board foreign is the word. Board for in means table for one in Swedish.
Oh.
So if you ever go to a Swedish restaurant, board for in, they'll say, oh, you're alone, clearly.
This is exact opposite of what it was like in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Because you're like around so many people, especially if you go, and this is going to be in our next episode.
Yes.
On our 3-part series on Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the bazaars, the markets, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there, and personal space is 0. Just saying. Hey, I feel good. You feel good about Turkey?
I like it.
I feel good.
I'm glad we got to share this with everyone.
And as always, remember to check us out on VocaVacay.com, and we are all over social media. That is the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Twitters.
The tubes.
The tubes, the Instagrams, which you've mastered. I totally have not done that at all. So anyway, yeah, we want to just check it out. We'll have pictures, links, and all the other stuff that you need to have a successful trip over to Istanbul, Turkey.
Yep.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, remember, live vicariously through yourself. Enjoy it out there. And of course, what do we say to these guys every single time?
Vacation like it's your job.
And
we'll see you in a fortnight.
We'll see you in a fortnight. Love ya, miss ya, mean it. Bye.
Don't forget to click subscribe. As always, hashtag Voca Vacay at Voca Vacay and visit VocaVacay.com.